Hi, thanks for watching. It's the Lipstick Gal. And I wanted to share some of my absolute favorites in skincare right now. These are the things that I am consistently reaching for. I have a very wide collection of skincare items. And I kind of go through them regularly, but since I love skincare so much, I'm constantly trying something new. And in the last, I would say 8 years, there's never been always the same thing over and over and over. I tend to use some similar products or exactly this one again and again, but I'll introduce something else into the routine. My skin type is combination. I tend to be normal in this area here, a little bit dry under the eyes, but definitely a lot of my oils tend to seep up around the corners of my nose. And at the end of the day, you can see some foundation and some powder kind of breaking up, and it doesn't quite look as fresh as it used to, but generally right in here. All right, so one of my favorite things to use is this product here. It's from Wish Trend, and it's called the Mandelic Acid 5% Skin Prep Water. This is something that I put on a cotton square. It's very liquidy, and I just rub it all over my face. If I do it right out of the shower, and then I also do it in the morning. So I'll out of the shower in the morning, and then in the evening after I wash my face, I'll use this. And this is one of those things where my face doesn't tend to react poorly to acids. I can use a heavier acid, and since I don't have sensitive skin, it doesn't cause any sort of irritation to me. But what I like about it is if I've missed anything at all in that cleansing step, I'll find whether it's cleanser or perspiration or even on days that I'm not wearing makeup, I'll find maybe dirt or other things that it really gets down there, kind of scrubs out my pores, and that's what I love about it. It also does some mild exfoliation, so I never end up with flakies anywhere, even though I tend to be dry a little bit under the eyes. After that, I go in for a toner, and I love Korean toners because they are pH balancing, they are hydrating, and usually don't have any alcohol. This is one of my favorites. This is one that I've been using for a while now. This is by Claire's, and this is their Supple Preparation Facial Toner. And this is clear. It has a very slight, I would say, herbal or floral scent to it. It's a little bit more viscous than water, but it is very easy to just, pat in. And I use this for the 7 Skin Method. And if that's something you haven't heard about, I'll link a video down below talking about that. But I find that after I apply 7 really thin layers, which is the whole idea of the 7 Skin Method, my skin feels so plump and so bouncy. Sometimes I don't have to put on any sort of hydrating cream or moisturizer, but I really, really like this stuff. All right, from there, this is another Claire's product. After that, I put on this serum. And this serum is their Midnight Blue Youth Activating Drop with Intensive EGF Peptide Treatment. EGF is Epidermal Growth Factor. So it helps to kind of get your skin back into its own self-repair mode, and the peptides help to build up all the things that it takes to have a healthy cell. And your skin looks more plumped and rejuvenated. The other thing I love about this is that it's blue. It's blue. And it's very, very watery. It only takes about 5 drops, and sometimes I wonder if that's too many for my whole face. But I really, really love this. I have seen a major difference in the way my skin looks and reacts. And some of the heavier lines, like this one right here, is not as deep as it used to be, and some of the ones going across my forehead aren't as deep. I haven't seen as much improvement in some of the little crow's feet around the edge of my face here, but maybe I'm just not paying real good attention. Another thing that I love, and I use this mainly at night, and the reason that I started using this is an ordinary product. This is our salicylic acid 2%. One of the reasons I started using this is not because of being blemish prone, which this is great for, but I found out that I had a lot of texture right underneath my lip, like right here in the corners. And it never turned into a whitehead. It was never a blackhead. It was just a little bump. And with using this, since this is also an exfoliant and fairly gentle, I finally, by using it every day for about 3 weeks, now I can turn back to maybe twice a week now, and all of my texture is gone under here. I also find that when I remember to put some right across in here, some of that orange peely look you get from pores, it's not quite as noticeable. So it does help refine the texture of your skin, even if you're not blemish prone. And since I don't have sensitive skin, this is something that's very easy for me to incorporate into my regime. After that regimen, not regime, regimen. After that, I like to put on a hydrating serum. And this is the one that this is my third bottle of this. I already have a backup of it. It's from Hylamide. It's the Sub-Q Anti-Age Serum. And this serum is clear. It's basically a hyaluronic acid. And it tends to be slightly more on the viscous side. It's not, here we go. It takes a while to drip. But I take about 4 or 5 drops of this and I mix it with something else, and it's absolutely fantastic. Hyaluronic acid is one of those acids where it's not going to do anything harsh to your skin. It's going to help attract moisture to your skin. And since this brand from Hylamide, this specific one here, has at least 3 different molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, it doesn't just sit on the skin, it also penetrates down to help plump several different layers of your skin. And I see a really good effect from using this, which means I also love and use the Hylamide Sub-Q for eyes. And this is basically very similar. The texture is a little bit different. It's milky as opposed to clear. But it's specifically designed for eyes, and I find that one drop like this is a lot thicker than the other Sub-Q product. But I take 1 drop, spread it between my ring fingers, and then dab it on underneath, and I take it all the way out here in this area, all the way out to the temple, on the eyelid itself. And if I have anything left over, I just tap it on my lips because they need a little bit of love and hydration as well. All right, one of the things that I have recently really fallen in love with. I always love to incorporate vitamin C, and I had been incorporating vitamin C through various different products from The Ordinary. I started out with their vitamin C 23%, which tended to be really gritty and I didn't like the feeling of. I also tried their magnesium ascorbyl phosphate 10%, which was okay, but not as cosmetically elegant as other things. I tried almost every vitamin C The Ordinary offered, and just in the last month, I think they came out with this. They've been talking about it for a while, and this is their 100% L-ascorbic acid powder. And what I love about this product is it's a fine powder, so fine that it dissolves into whatever you put it in. And it comes with a little teeny tiny scoop, and this usually I leave inside here, but I didn't want to dig it out and have powder go everywhere. But it allows you to take as much as you need. I usually go for a full scoop, and that's what I will drop into my Sub-Q, the Hylamide that I use all over my face, and I just take it everywhere, and I find it does really help keeping some of the hyperpigmentation at bay. I also recently did a little switch up to try some new products, and it's the first time I had a breakout in almost a year. Like 9 or 10 months, and it was a huge acne. I mean, one of those deep cystic acne that just like popped up right there. So I'm still trying to fade the little bit of hyperpigmentation I have left over from that, even though I tried really hard and I didn't pick it. This is going to help to fade that, and I like the fact that I can mix it in with anything. I can mix it in with the face cream, with the serum, with whatever I want. Works really well. Favorite eye cream right now, and I just finished up a Charlotte Tilbury Magic Eye Rescue, which was really good, but it's $60 a jar. I don't know that I'm as dedicated to that as some lower priced options that work really well. And I find this works nearly as well, if not just as well or better. And the reason I say that is I've used this before, used something else in between, then used the Charlotte Tilbury, and now I'm back to this. This is a repurchase for me. I have never repurchased the Magic Eye Rescue, although I have repurchased the Magic Face Cream, the Magic Cream. That stuff is really good, but expensive. This is from Mizone. This is their multifunction formula snail repair eye cream. This is like 20 bucks. And does it say how much you get? Yeah, you get 0.84 fluid ounces. I mean, that's more than half again as much as you get in a normal eye cream, which is only half an ounce. So it's a white cream, and it does have that snail mucin in it, which is really good for correcting, for plumping, for if you have any sort of damage to the area. It does help to heal that. And it's so hydrating. The thing I like about it, though, is that it's not tacky, it's not sticky, and it's not so overly emulsive that if I tend to keep my eyes closed, or when I laugh, I scrunch my eyes up because I'm just that sort of person, and transfer from my mascara. If I'm wearing a really creamy, really emollient eye cream, I tend to get transfer down here. And with this one, I don't. So I really like it. I find that it's very hydrating. And if I'm taking a little bit more time in the morning, I'll tap one quick layer on, let it absorb 5 minutes later, tap another really light layer on. This stuff is amazing. One of my favorite creams that I'm using right now, there's a couple that are really, really high on the list, but I was really impressed with this. I picked this up Black Friday in a special kit. It had 3 things in it, and this was the one that I was kind of like, it works, doesn't work, I'll be fine, I'll use it on the body if I don't love it on the face. But I really do like it a lot. And it's from a company called Pyongkangyeol, and it's a Korean company. I got this at Olali. I'll make sure to link it down below. But it's a really huge jar. It's 3.3 ounces. Most face creams come 1 ounce at a time. And this was, since it came in a kit, it was very, very reasonable. And it was a special for Black Friday. So it's not one of those things that you could find all the time. But it's not so cost prohibitive that I wouldn't purchase it on the regular. And what I like about this is basically called their moisture cream. A lot of things are in Korean here on the front, and I don't speak Korean, but I really like this. This brand came very highly recommended from Gothamista, and I love her channel, which I will also link down below. But she was talking about a different product that she recommended that I use now and I love, and I just wanted to branch out and see what else they had. I really like this product. This is moisturizing enough for, those cooler, drier, beginning of spring days. I was using this in January and it was doing great. I live in the Pacific Northwest. We tend to get a lot of rain and sometimes snow where I live, and it can get really cold. I mean, we've had temperatures down like on the regular at 10 below at the coldest point of winter. It's not as bad as maybe Wisconsin or other parts in the world, but it gets cold enough where my face feels it. And this helped keep me hydrated. I also know that I'll be able to use this in summer because it's not so heavy and occlusive, that it'll keep me from reaching from this when it starts to warm up. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is my absolute favorite, fix my hair here, it's getting a little wild, is my absolute favorite sunscreen. And this is from the company Misha. This is their all-around safe block Essence Sun Milk. It's kind of a mouthful. All-around safe block Essence Sun Milk. It's SPF 50 PA+++. What I love so much about this is that this is the amount that I would normally use on my face. So I would rub that in, wait a few minutes, and do that again. I always double up on the SPF. And it doesn't give you like twice as much. It doesn't go from 50 to 100. It still gives you that 50, but you get probably close to the amount that you need. So I'll spread that amount, from my forehead all the way down to like right about here, where, my shirt kind of does the V. I want to make sure I get all of this covered in SPF. And then I'll do a second layer of it. But as you can see, it's hydrating and there is no white cast. Now, I know that you would say, well, how would you know? You're fairly pale, and that's true. I am very pale. I think in MAC, I'm like an NC10, between an NC5 and an NC10. I'm fairly pale, but my mother is Mexican, and I'm half. I got my dad's side of the half, not my mom's side of the half. So my fair skin comes courtesy of my dad, but my mother loves and swears by this. I've given it to a handful of my Mexican cousins who also have, I would say, medium dark skin, and they love it because it's one of the few, it goes on like skincare, has the protection of a really high SPF, isn't exclusively expensive that it makes it, difficult to buy. You don't want to go through it and use the amount that you should, because I think it's $22. But if you get it on sale, this, how much is this? 70 mils. So this is a little over 2 ounces. You can get this size on sale for $18, and that's when I stock up. I buy 3 of them at a time, and usually I'll end up having somebody come over and talk about not liking to wear sunscreen. Said, well, here, try this. And so I give bottles away constantly. But this is one of my absolute favorite things, and I've been using this specific brand for the last 5 or 6 years, and every now and again I'll try a different Korean sunscreen, and somehow I don't like the texture as much. It doesn't play as well with my combination skin, tends to be too powdery. There's something that I don't like, and maybe I just tried this first, fell in love with it, and I've kept using it. So if you're looking for a really great SPF that plays well with makeup, this is what you should try. And I have tried their waterproof. I don't like the waterproof formula. I have tried their Velvet Touch, which is more like a powdery finish, so that if you tend to be oily, it keeps some of those oils at bay. I don't like that. This one here, just the plain one, is my favorite. Well, that's my list of kind of like my top players right now in skincare. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.